Hello, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little behind. It's been a minute since I did this. I was trying to get as much information and accurate information as I could on this story, which there's a lot of information on this story, so. Hello, Tracy again. How are you, hun? Hello, Wisdom, if you're still here. Hello, Doodlebug. Hello, Marion Tate. Hi, Kimber. How are ya? We'll wait a little bit and see if anybody else decides to show up. I'm good. I was actually really strangely nervous about going live today. I don't know what the issue was, but I had lots of anxiety. Weird. I think that's the first time ever. Doesn't make sense. There, let me turn my hair's a mess today, just so you guys know. It's all tied up in a braid and crazy, so I might just push it back and that way nobody can see it. Okay, we got 4 in here. So what's everybody doing on this? At least here it's a super hot Sunday. Oh, on a Sunday. I hate it when I have to work on a Sunday. Eh. Hello, butterfly. Well, from my understanding, Wisdom, he was never under arrest. He just had to go to court for domestic violence charges and they were dismissed on Friday. Oh, wow. Hello, Ro. How are ya? Hello, Avery, hun. How are you? Oh, butterfly, you're fine. We just got started. Yeah, it's hot here too. My daughter said something about going to the bookstore, and I was like, "Do you realize it's 84 and the real feel is already at 94, and it's only 2 o'clock? Our heat maxes out at like between 3 and 5." I'll take your word for it, Avery. Those are my husband's guitars, so it might be. Um, he has lots of guitars, but yeah, that might be what that is. I mean, if I turn my camera, you see this other one hanging on the wall, and there's another one down at the bottom of the camera, right there. And yeah, he's got them. Yep, I married a musician, so there's guitars everywhere. Oh wow, butterfly, that's horrible. I'll take my 84 and 94 with my heat index. Yeah. He would probably enjoy that, Avery. Oh, wow, that's awesome. My oldest, she started playing um, clarinet, and then, I mean, she liked playing it, but she didn't want to play it for competition and for the school, and she wanted to play it for fun. So she quit band. And then my twins, um, one was doing percussion. She wanted to play the drums. Um, and then her anxiety started kicking in with the concerts and things, so she had to drop out. And then my son was playing violin, and he stuck it out the longest. Um, but eventually, his anxiety got the better of him as well, and he, the same with the other two. He wanted to play it because he liked playing it, not because he wanted to be a violinist when he grew up or anything like that. So, hello, Metamom. How are ya, hun? Wow, that's awesome. Hey, does anybody know about Nikki McCain? Anybody heard this story? Mm, I'm gonna text Dago real quick and see what he's doing. This is, yeah, there's a lot to dig on. Um, I just I tried to get as much as I could with what little I could find, because nobody has covered it so far except for Nancy Grace and JLR. Um, So I had to go to like news um, news channels and things like that. Jeez. Oh, really? That's interesting, but not surprising from what I know so far. Hmm. How did she pass? Hmm. Yeah, I came across a video of a little girl. The last name was McCain, but I mean, it could have been, and the dad's name was Tyler as well. So I mean, it could have just been, coincidence. But it was a little girl crying because her house burnt down. Well, their house didn't burn down. I'll go over it, but yeah, there was a fire there. At least my understanding was it didn't burn down. That's what I'm thinking, Mom. I think it's a different Tyler McCain. Um, oops, I'm gonna write her name down. Is that Heidi? Okay, let's see. Mm, All right, so this is just the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976 copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be oops, infringing. Nonprofit, nonprofit educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. That didn't show up right. Yeah. All right, so that's a trigger warning because I'm going to go over some court documents about some of the abuse that Nikki has gone through, and it's rough. So I'll roll a banner at the bottom too, especially since that didn't pop up right. I wonder why it did that. That's weird. Hold on, if I do this. Nope, that's weird. Huh, can't see. Huh, because it showed right on the thing. Okay, well, anyway, trigger warning. All right, here are the pictures. This is Nikki. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful young lady. She was 39, is 39. This is Tyler, her husband. And this is the, or six of them. um, so three girls and a boy. Beautiful family. Why are my slides being weird? That's not cool. Hold on a second, guys. Mm, Let me try something different. Okay. Thank you, Madam Mom. I appreciate that. Okay, maybe we'll just do it this way. Um, well, I guess that didn't show up right on the. It's the video's not doing right. Weird. Okay. Huh. Okay. Hold on, guys. Sorry. Sorry. All right, hold on. The heck? Yikes. Hello, Steven. How are ya? Okay. Open presenter view. Okay. I want this over here, I think. I'm trying. Hello, Zelda. How are ya? Okay. Why is this not cooperating with me? Mm, mm. I don't want that one there. This is weird. I don't. Hmm. I don't know why it's not letting me change the pages once I get it up. Technical issues. Hold on, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay, figured it out. My goodness, I'm a bonehead. That's okay. Yikes. This thing's a learning process for real. Yeah. Not yet, Tracy. I don't have a clue unless it's, yeah, I don't know. All right, so yeah, there's my that trigger warning that didn't pop up. There's the um, family pics again. So pretty, and they're so cute kids. Feels bad for the kids. All right. This is a video that Arctic put out. So thank you, Arctic. Let me see. Hopefully this will work.
What's going on, guys? This is Arctic
Can you guys hear it? Let me know.
Fox. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the missing persons case of 39-year-old Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain, who is missing out of Anderson, California. Nikki is 4 feet 11 inches tall and weighs 110 pounds with red hair and brown eyes. The Shasta County Sheriff's Office is asking for the public's help in locating the missing woman. Nikki was last in contact with family members on the 17th of May, 2024, and was last seen on the 18th of May. She was picked up at a home next to Wind River Casino in Redding, California, and may have been dropped off at her home on Olinda Road in Anderson, California. Nikki's light pewter metallic 2002 Chevy Avalanche with
Hey,
California
Michael.
disabled parking plate DP154UT was also missing, but was later found in Tahoma, California on the 25th of May. Nikki does have a floral design tattoo on her left forearm, and there's currently a $10,000 reward being offered for information leading to Nikki's whereabouts. Anyone with information on Nikki or her whereabouts is asked to get in contact with the Shasta County Sheriff's Office at 530-245-6135. Now, guys, we are talking about a woman who has not been seen since the 18th of May. It is currently the 2nd of June as I'm recording this video. And unfortunately, Nikki's case is not getting a lot of media coverage right now. So we definitely need to get her face out there on social media. Do me a big favor. Give the video a like. It does help more people to see Nikki's face. And the more people that see her, the better the chances are that we can find her and we can bring her home safe. Also, if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, consider clicking that subscribe button. It really does help the channel out. And if you ring that notification bell, you'll always be alerted whenever I post another missing persons video. But the most important thing that I need for everyone to do right now is to simply click that share button, guys. Share this to your Facebook, your Twitter, your Instagram, wherever you have social media. It only takes 1 second of your time to do, and it can make all the difference in the world in whether we're able to find Nikki and bring her home safe or not. As always, guys, I do want to thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Y'all be kind to one another out there, and let's bring Nikki home safe.
Thank you, Arctic. All right, so this is where things get a little, excuse me, a little rough. So, trigger warning. If you need to step out and leave, you can. No problem. I completely and totally understand. So this is back in December, let's see, December 1st of 23. It says on Friday, December 1st, 23 at 23:12 hours, I responded to Mercy Hospital in Redding, California to make contact with a female who shall be referred to in this report as confidential victim. The purpose of the contact was for a reported domestic violence incident involving herself and her husband of 13 years. Tyler McCann that Tyler McCann that occurred on 11/29/23 between the hours of 20:30 and 23:30 hours at their listed address of Olinda Road in Anderson, California. It should be noted that the original call of the report came in at around 19:10 hours on the date of 12/1/23. Upon coming on duty later that evening, I attempted phone contact with confidential victim, but was told by her friend she was currently being treated in the ER and not able to speak to me. In making contact with confidential victim at the hospital, I immediately noticed facial trauma to both of her eyes, as well as her forehead and facial areas. Both of her eyes were blackened severely. Both were also swollen in what appeared to be the result of a physical assault. I asked confidential victim who did this to her. She stated it was her husband, Tyler McCain. Using my department issued iPhone, I recorded a conversation and asked confidential victim to explain to me what occurred. She relayed the following in summary. Confidential victim stated on Wednesday, 11/29/23, she returned home to her address of Olinda Road, a residence she shares with her husband, Tyler McClain. She said they had, sorry, I lost my spot, been together and married for approximately 16 years and have 4 children in common, none of whom live with them currently. Getting back to the night of the incident, confidential victim stated when she got home at around 20:15 to 20:30 hours, Tyler was not home. Confidential victim went into her bedroom and started combing her hair when approximately 15 minutes later, Tyler returned home in a strange mood and for some reason went and locked the back door of the house. Confidential victim stated that for unknown reasons, Tyler seemed extremely agitated and was not making any sense. When he contacted her in the bedroom area, she said he immediately jumped on her, held her down on the ground, and dragged her around, yelled at her, and asked her, "What's going on? What are you doing?" Confidential victim stated Tyler had a glazed, scary look in his eyes as if he was having some sort of mental episode. Confidential victim tried to calm Tyler down, but to no avail, and he continued to torment her verbally as well as hold her down and began to repeatedly hit her in the face. Need to get a drink. Okay. Confidential victim stated that Tyler's behavior began to grow more and more intense towards her, hitting her in her facial area with open hands in a harsh, forceful manner. She said, in addition to hitting her face, her eyes, and her cheek areas, he also pulled her hair numerous times and even poured large amounts of water onto her from a water jug that was sitting beside her, causing her to become very cold. Confidential victim stated this behavior by Tyler continued for approximately 3 hours, during which time he bound her ankles and wrists together with white tape. He also placed a piece of tape over her mouth so she could not speak properly. Confidential victim stated part of the tape was not covering her mouth fully, so she was able to breathe, though she could not speak. During this time, confidential victim stated Tyler turned her over onto her stomach and straddled her from behind, pulled her hair, and forcefully pulled her head back, saying he was going to unalive her. I asked confidential victim what state of mind she was in at this moment. Confidential victim said she thought she was going to die, that Tyler may actually intend to unalive her. Throughout the evening, Tyler periodically hit her as she laid on the ground. Confidential victim said one time Tyler attempted to wrap something around her neck, but was not successful in doing that. I asked confidential victim what type of object Tyler used to wrap around her neck. She said she was not sure. She did not see, only that she felt it. In looking at confidential victim's neck, I did not notice any specific strangle or choke marks that could be attributed to an attempted strangling. In looking at the eyes of confidential victim, it was clearly evident she had been struck numerous times with her injuries, suggesting they came at the hands of being struck been struck numerous times with her injuries, suggesting they came at the hands of being struck by another human being. It should also be noted confidential victim is a small person at 4'11" and 90 pounds in stature. Tyler is substantially larger and stronger than she is, and there would be no way for her to fend him off in his fit of rage during the assault. Confidential victim said Tyler has done this type of thing before, but never this bad. During my interview with her, confidential victim said she was not sure about Tyler's illegal drug use, but believed he used methamphetamines periodically. I asked confidential victim about the proximity after hold on. I asked confidential victim after the approximately 3-hour ordeal how it all ended. She stated towards the end of the night, around 11:30 or so, Tyler went into the kitchen area where he remained for several minutes, believing this was the opportunity for her to escape. Confidential victim grabbed her robe that contained her car keys, ran outside, and got into her vehicle. She said as she was leaving. Tyler came running out after her and jumped on the hood of the car, telling her to stop, which she ignored. I asked confidential victim if Tyler SA'd her during the incident in any way. She said he did not. After leaving her residence, confidential victim went to her sister's house in Reading, where she has been staying ever since, and eventually made the report to law enforcement. I asked confidential victim to describe the punches that Tyler hit her with. She said it was not really a fist, more of an open hand, and that he hit her 10 to 15 times in her facial area, including her eyes and forehead. Confidential could not see what he used to wrap around her neck, but believed he may have been trying to suffocate her. Confidential victim said she has not spoken to Tyler since, and he has not called her. No one else was at the residence when this incident occurred, and there was no witnesses to contact. Wow. Photos of the injuries to confidential victim as well as medical release form was signed and will be added to this report. The photos will be booked into evidence after they are transferred to the CD-ROM. My recorded interview with confidential victim will also be converted to CD-ROM and later booked into evidence. At this time, confidential victim will no longer be living at the Olinda Road address and will be staying for the foreseeable future with her sister in Reading. Confidential victim was advised to go to one safe place in Reading at her earliest convenience to get assistance in obtaining a restraining order against Tyler. She was also provided a Marcy's card, a victim of violent crimes pamphlet, a report number, and my contact information in case she had any questions or concerns. After speaking to confidential victim, myself and assisting deputies responded to Olinda Road to contact Tyler McCain. Upon responding to that location, Tyler subsequently came out of the residence and met us in the driveway. Tyler was taken into custody without incident. placed in handcuffs that were double locked and checked for proper fit. He was then placed in the back seat of a sheriff's office patrol vehicle and transported to jail without incident. Prior to being transported, I informed Tyler he was being placed under arrest for domestic violence, as well as other charges for the injuries sustained by confidential victim during a domestic violence incident. Thank you, Michael. At the jail, I read Tyler his Miranda rights from my card issued to me by the Shasta County District Attorney's Office. Tyler verbally stated to me he understood his rights and agreed to speak to me regarding this incident. I first confirmed confidential victim was in fact Tyler's wife. He stated she was, and that they had been together for 13 years now. I asked Tyler if he was aware of the injuries his wife, confidential victim, had upon her face and body areas. Tyler said he is aware of them, but that he did not actually see them. He said he last saw his wife on the 29th during evening hours at around 8 p.m. When I asked if there was any kind of disturbance between them, he said no, there was not. Tyler then told me that he believed his wife had gotten into a fight with another female. That's how she received the injuries she currently has upon her body. Really? Come on, dude. I asked Tyler if he saw the fight take place. He said he did not. Tyler's statement sounded inconsistent, saying that he believed the confidential victim was having an affair with another female, but then went on to say that they had got along great and have been together as a happy couple, never having any type of physical altercations between them. When I again asked Tyler if he saw the fight between confidential victim and this alleged female, or if he saw the injuries that she had upon her face, he said he did not. I informed Tyler his wife and confidential victim reported him as being the person who caused her numerous invisible injuries to her face during a violent encounter at their shared residence on Olinda Road on 11/29/23. Tyler said he did not strike confidential victim in any way and did not know how she received the injuries she was treated for at the hospital for. hmm. Based on the totality of the circumstances and based on the fact that the injuries upon confidential victim were consistent with that of a domestic violence incident, I informed Tyler he was charged with 273.5 PC felony domestic violence as well as false imprisonment, PC 236 a felony, and PC 422A terrorist threats also a felony. The domestic violence related charges stem from the fact I observed physical injuries upon confidential victim she sustained at the hands of Tyler McCain, her husband. The false imprisonment is due to the fact confidential victim stated Tyler bound both her hands and legs with tape, preventing her from leaving the house. The PC 422A terrorist threats for the fact Tyler threatened to unalive confidential victim numerous times during the course of the incident and was in great fear for her own safety and well-being. This concluded my contact with Tyler, and he was booked on the listed charges. So that is 4 felony counts, and the man is out walking around. Prior to transporting Tyler to jail, I was given permission by both confidential victim earlier at the hospital and by suspect Tyler McCain to enter residence and retrieve confidential victim's cell phones. During a cursory safety search of the residence, 5 firearms were found inside the bedroom area in plain view where both Tyler and confidential victim reside. Tyler is not a convicted felon and is not prohibited from owning firearms, but a records check revealed that one of the firearms, an AK-47 style rifle, was reported to be stolen out of Oregon. That rifle, as well, The other ones were taken for safekeeping and later entered into evidence as recovered stolen property. Oh, sorry, I think I skipped a line there. As recovered stolen for safekeeping. Okay, yeah. Sergeant Guas, yikes, collected the firearms along with ammunition and booked them into the Shasta County ID lab. Tyler McCain was later served with a receipt of the property at the jail that he signed in my presence that will be downloaded and added to this report. I also looked for the type white tape that confidential victim reported as being tied up by Tyler with lying on the floor in the bedroom area, but did not observe any in plain view. This report will be forwarded to the district attorney's office with the listed charges that, based on the totality of the circumstances in this incident, show that Tyler McCain was the primary aggressor in this matter. Whew, that was a lot. I do not know how he got out unless he was able to pay bail, if he had bail. I will look into that more. If Metamom or Avery, if either of you know, if you want to come up here, I can drop a link. If you guys want to come up and help tell the story, fill in the blanks that I don't know, you're more than welcome to. Just let me know. So what I have next is a video. This is her two sisters, and this was before the court hearing.
A rally outside the Shasta County Courthouse this morning where the husband of a missing Redding woman was in court to face abuse charges. Reporter Jesse Angelo shows us friends and family are not relenting on their Justice for Nikki campaign as they desperately search for answers in the disappearance of Nikki Saelee McCain.
Between 60 and 80 people showed up here today at the Shasta County Courthouse to demand justice for Nikki McCain. The crowd included family, friends, and community members who brought signs and loud voices for their cause.
We're here to be her voice. We're supporting the family, and we're just trying to come together to be her voice. Where is she? You know, we want answers and we want justice.
It's amazing to see how much support we have. We've made friends with people that used to be strangers, and so it makes me feel like we have a lot of people, behind our backs. And so that makes me feel very confident that people are on our side and that they care about Nikki.
The hearing was continued until July 5th in order to give the prosecution more time to obtain evidence in the case. And supporters here tell me they will continue to show up to offer help and support to Nikki McCain's family. In Redding, Jesse Angelo, Action News Now.
After hearing many supporters of Nikki McCain, after the hearing, the supporters broke off and went into search party mode. They're still hoping to find the missing woman. She was last seen May 15th. Investigators have not identified her husband as a suspect in Nikki's disappearance.
No. The suspect, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to show you a video from Nancy Grace. It just gives you guys a little more information. I think there's two of them from Nancy Grace.
Breaking news tonight, a gorgeous young missing mom of four's Chevy Avalanche just found on a remote and hilly county road. Tonight, where is Nikki? Good evening. I'm Nancy Grace. This is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us.
A California mom of four missing. Her truck found abandoned in a different county. Where is Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain?
How does a gorgeous young mom like Nikki seemingly vanish into thin air? Why is her Chevy Avalanche found along a hilly and remote county road there in Shasta County? Now, if she were gone and her Avalanche was also gone, that would make more sense than her being separated from her car, from her truck, a Chevy Avalanche. That's not making sense. And why would it be parked, left out in the middle of nowhere? Why would she have been there? She wouldn't have been. Even if she had been there for some reason to or fro in transit, why would she get out of her Chevy Avalanche and what? Disappear out into the hills? That did not happen. Where is Nikki? And this is not just about Nikki Cheng, as her family calls her. This is about her 4 children as well, one as young as 7 years old. What about them? Who's taking care of them? Who's explaining, yeah, mommy's not home again tonight. Mommy's not home again tonight. But hey, here's her Chevy Avalanche. Again, this is Crime Stories. I'm Nancy Grace, and I want to thank you for being with us. I'm very concerned about the slow motion search for Nikki, because we all know that hours count when someone goes missing. Look at her. Where is she? If you have information on missing Nikki, tip line 530-245-6540. Repeat, 530-245-6540. Joining me, an all-star panel, and I want to reiterate, there is a $10,000 reward for information leading to Nikki's whereabouts. $10,000. As I said, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now, including her 2 look-alike sisters, the spitting image of Nikki. But first, listen to this.
Nikki Saelee McCain sends a text message to her sister just after midnight on May 18th, saying she's driving Tyler McCain's mother's vehicle back to his mother's home near the Wind River Casino. When Nikki doesn't respond to texts from her family later that morning at 7 a.m. and 8 a.m., the family is concerned. The family immediately begins looking for Nikki and her Chevrolet Avalanche truck. Nikki has 4 children and would never have left them without notice, and an official missing person report is filed with Shasta County.
Well, the family wasted no time in reporting her missing. That's the bright spot so far. Please join us in our search for Nikki Cheng, Saelee McCain. I want to first go out to Nikki's sisters joining us, Chloe and Kay. First to Chloe. Chloe, tell me about when you first learned your sister, the 3 of you are very, very close, was not answering phone calls or texts.
At first I was like, okay, this is normal. It's really early for a text message. Maybe she's still sleeping. But then I had noticed that they were green, because if you have an iPhone, if the text message goes through, it's blue. But then we noticed that text messages were green. And so I was thinking maybe her phone maybe was just dead. So I didn't immediately panic just yet.
Okay, hold on, Chloe. Can you back it up one moment?
Yeah.
Go through that one more time. I've seen that on my phone too, where normally you send a text and it's in a blue bubble. And then sometimes it's in green. Now, slow down just a moment. You said too early in the morning. Maybe she was still asleep, but she's not a late sleeper to my understanding. Is that correct?
Yes. She's not a light sleeper.
I mean, with 4 children, who can sleep late? So you text her early in the morning. She doesn't respond, but you say, hey, maybe it's too early for her to be texting, asleep, busy with the children. Okay. Then you said something about blue and green. Pick it up right there, Chloe, please.
Yeah. So when it's blue, that means you have cell service or that your phone is not dead. But when it's green, that usually means you either don't have service or your cell phone is dead. And so that morning we were kind of in a rush. We were getting ready to go to a soccer game. And so I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll talk to her later. So I didn't hear from her, and we did have a very busy weekend. And then
we didn't really think much of it, but then starting, throughout the week, we're like, wait, Nikki has not texted in our family group message. And so then I was thinking maybe she was just at my mom's house. And then by Tuesday, we were like,
Okay, hold
wait,
on right there. Let me follow up with that. Chloe, sorry to interrupt, but I don't want to miss a detail because, as we all know, and our other experts will jump in just a moment, every detail matters. Every detail, the timing matters, the location matters. Now, you're saying you were texting early in the morning. You thought, hey, I got to go to the soccer game. I'll circle back with her. And then you realize, many hours later, hey, I never heard back from her. This is where I want clarification. You just assumed she had gone over to your mom's. Did I hear that correctly? Okay. How far away does Nikki live from your mother?
Not very far, about maybe a 15-minute drive. Not very far at all.
Okay. I want to check my information, Chloe, and I'm going to bring in Kay Ford. This is Nikki's other lookalike sister. Chloe, to get from Nikki's home to her mother's home, would she have to go past where her vehicle, where her Chevy is finally located? Would that be en route?
No, not at all. That's a different direction.
Chloe, did your sister Nikki often go visit with your mom?
Yes, she did. So we just assumed she's at my mom's house. And then Monday rolls around and, it's busy. It's the end of the school year. And so I'm just we're super busy. And so then by Tuesday, I'm like, wait a second, have you guys heard from Nikki? And so we text in the family group message and we're kind of like trying to figure out where she is. I call my mom. My mom's like, no, we have not seen her. And so this is when we're really starting to panic. And so then on Wednesday.
Hey, right there. Sorry to break in, but what is her practicing custom regarding text? See, I've got one sibling that never, you have to write over and over and over. And finally, I have to write the spouse, okay, and say, hey, what's happening? That's normal. That's no big deal. The other sibling writes back just like that. So my question is, what kind of texter is Nikki?
Actually, she's a little bit of both, but
okay. The reason I'm asking is because at this juncture by Monday, it's still not really a big deal that she hasn't texted back because sometimes she does that, right?
Yes. But it doesn't go that long without her texting me back.
Gotcha. Listen, my sister, who I adore, has her hands full with a lot of things. And sometimes she can go like 10 days and go, oh, yeah, right, I meant to text earlier. And it's really no big deal. And I don't find that unusual. Okay, so we're at Monday. Then what happens?
Okay, I was like, okay, so no text message. And I didn't really think much. And then by Tuesday, that's when we kind of start to panic and kind of get worried about where she might be because my mom's like, oh, no, I haven't seen her.
Okay, you are hearing Chloe Saelee. This is Nikki's lookalike sister. Now I want to go to other sister, Kay Ford. Kay, to both of you, it's so important that you are speaking out now. You've been trying to speak out. You've been searching. You've been putting up flyers. You've been doing everything right. But for some reason, nobody seems to have been looking for her. And I think it has to do with getting on to a plot of land that is tribal land. You can't just ride on there and start looking, among other things, which I'll go into. But hey, we're here now. We're looking now. For everybody joining us, I want to give you that tip line again. Control room, if you can flash it up there, 530-245-6540. Slowly, 530-245-6540. Listen, there's a $10,000 reward for information leading to Nikki's whereabouts. You want $10,000? Work for it. Call the tip line. Back to Kay Ford, Nikki's sister. Kate, tell me about when I imagine you and Chloe were on the phone nonstop once you realized, hey, she's not responding. But tell me when it dawned on you, how it came about, Kay, that you realized Nikki's not answering. I can't find her.
When, like Chloe said, the messages weren't going through. We hadn't heard from her, and everyone that we had talked to during that time, no one really had a concrete answer or a good explanation about what she had been doing or where she had gone.
Got it. Now, here's my question. I understand that shortly after midnight, that Nikki Cheng, Nikki, sends a text that she is taking her mother-in-law's vehicle back to the mother-in-law's home. Did you get that text, Kay?
No, this one was sent directly to Chloe.
Okay, Chloe gets that text. Okay. Chloe, that text, that's around midnight, and she's texting with you, and I know you and Kay and Nikki share all information extremely close. You get this text stating that she is taking her mother-in-law's car back to the mother-in-law's house. Now that's at midnight, and it's near the Wind River Casino. Is that right, Chloe?
Yes, that's right.
Does anybody in the family work at the casino?
Yes, we have family members who do work at Wind River Casino, and Nikki herself worked there as well before, a few years before.
Okay, so she had worked at a casino as a what?
She was a cocktail waitress there.
Okay, now who works at the casino now within your family?
Oh, no one works at the casino. Tyler's,
nothing.
Yeah, her mother-in-law lives on the Rancheria, which is 2 doors down from the casino.
Gotcha. Okay, so nobody's working there now. The mother-in-law lives a little bit down at the Rancheria near Wind River Casino. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Kay, was the mother-in-law's vehicle actually taken to the mother-in-law's? Did that happen?
From her messages, that's where she was headed. We didn't hear from her as far as once she got to the mother-in-law's house, so we can't definitively confirm that.
Was the mother-in-law in the car with her, or was she just driving the car back on her own and then getting a ride back home? How was that working?
She was driving by herself in the vehicle. From what she told us,
by herself.
Mhm.
Okay, here's it may sound like an odd question, but Chloe, you got the text. Did the text appear to be from Nikki? Everybody has a style of texting. My texts are as short as possible. Other people go on and on and on. They'll send you 3 paragraphs in a text. Was this text from Nikki her normal texting style?
Yes, it was. Because right before that, we were kind of talking about other things too. So I that only me and her would know. So it didn't like her.
Like what? What other things?
She was just talking about the situation with the family member that was in the hospital, and just kind of the people mentioning children's names, and so it felt like it was her.
Okay, so you feel sure that was Nikki texting, and you believe, based on this is very important, ladies, because this is starting my timeline. You believe she was alive at midnight that night, and you believe, based on the authenticity of that text, that Nikki, sent that text. And because it was Nikki sending the text, you believe she really was returning that car to her mother-in-law's. Would you agree, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, isn't it true, ladies, that after that text, no one sees or hears from Nikki again.
Correct.
Nikki now missing a month. 4 children are asking, where's mommy, as young as 7 years old. We are learning her Chevy Avalanche found in a remote and hilly area on an old county road. But here's another problem in the search for Nikki, the time delay. Listen.
8 days passed from when Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain was last seen by her family and the day her truck was found abandoned in Tehama County. According to a missing persons flyer released by the family, McCain was reportedly picked up from a residence near Wind River Casino in Redding, California, and may have been later dropped off at her home in Anderson. Investigators have not said where in Tehama County the 2002 Chevrolet Avalanche was found or if the location is the home where McCain may have been picked up. Police have also not released whether the truck was in working order.
Okay, this is a problem. How did she get from the mother-in-law's back to her place? Did she ever get a ride? Did she get a ride? If so, with who? Joining me, an all-star panel to make sense of what we know right now. For those of you joining us, there is a $10,000 reward for information that leads to the location of Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain, known as Nikki. Her family calls her Nikki Cheng. To Dave Mack, crimeonline.com investigative reporter. I understand that her Chevy Avalanche was found in this hilly terrain. What I don't get is how we go from her being in her mom-in-law's white Tahoe. How did she go from that to her Chevy being in a completely different area? Control room, if I could see that map again. It's completely way away from any radius where Nikki would have been traveling. Look where her Avalanche was located as it relates to her home. And the reason we've got the Wind River Resort Casino up there is because that's where the mother-in-law lives. So that's not en route, Dave Mack. Dave, what can you tell me about where this vehicle is located? And then I'm going to circle back on how critical it is to this investigation that we've lost 8 days. Go ahead.
All right. The distance is about 45 miles from the Wynn Casino, or the Wynn, from where the casino is to where the vehicle was actually found. You mentioned a rugged, kind of hilly terrain. Well, it was actually a bridge area, like an overpass with an off-ramp. And my understanding is that the vehicle was actually pulled around the off-ramp and underneath, like it was being stashed a little bit. See, there you've got the one place that could actually be considered maybe a bridge, very rural terrain, 45 miles rather from the casino. And all we know is that she took her mother-in-law's car to a home owned by the family. We don't know what happened. She was supposed to be picked up by somebody and taken to her home in Anderson, but there's nothing indicating that took place. All we know is that she arrived with her mother-in-law's car and her vehicle ended up 45 miles away in the middle of nowhere.
Why would she pull her vehicle, her Avalanche, up under that behemoth? There is no reason she wouldn't be under there. Somebody stashed her car under that overpass. Joining me, an incredible team of experts, in addition to Dave Mack, Ted DeBias, joining us out of D.C., former assistant U.S. attorney in D.C. and author of Nobody Homicide Cases, a practical guide to investigating, prosecuting, and winning cases when the victim is missing. Also with me, Brian Fitzgibbons, Director of Operations for USPA Nationwide Security, who leads a team of investigators specializing in finding missing people. Okay, first to you, Ted DeBias, joining us out of DC. Ted, that vehicle, the Chevy Avalanche, must be combed carefully and processed correctly. We can't screw this up. What should be done or should be being done right now with that Avalanche?
Absolutely, Nancy. You're going to want your crime scene folks to scrub this thing like never before. You're looking for DNA. You're looking for blood, hair, fiber. You're also going to check and see, does this have a GPS? A lot of cars today have tracking devices that are part of their system. Used to be OnStar and some of these other things. You're going to check for that. You're also going to be looking for, okay, where is the cell phone of Nikki? We already know she had a cell phone. We know she was texting. You're going to start looking at cell tower information and figure out where could she be. Now, if it's a rural area, which I think a number of your folks on the program have said, that could be more.
Okay, so I'm gonna make sure I'm understanding this right. They're saying she did return her mother-in-law's car to a residence that was owned by the family. But beyond that, there is no evidence that she was ever picked up and taken back to her home. Interesting. Hmm.
More difficult because rural areas tend to have fewer cell towers and it becomes more difficult to track where those phones are. But those are the types of forensic evidence which is key in a missing persons case, particularly if, God forbid, it turns into a no body homicide. The forensic evidence is always key to these cases, Nancy.
Okay, a lot of questions about the Chevy Avalanche. Put device back up. Tad, when you state it's got to be, you said scrubbed, it needs to be processed with a fine-tooth comb. And this is where I have found evidence in the past on the handle, on the driver's door handle, where somebody opens the door, around the handle, on the ignition, if there is a gear shift, on the shift. Also, I've had a case, and specifically it was the case of Teresa Hallback, who was a victim of Stephen Avery, who became a media darling and making a murderer. Okay. He killed her, no question. A jury agreed. His perspiration, his DNA was found on the ignition. They didn't know each other, and so there was no reason for that to be. His DNA was found elsewhere. But that said, it's very important that this avalanche be processed appropriately and very carefully. I've seen cases rise and fall on,
Nancy, can I give you one
let
other
me just
thing?
say, sloppy gathering of evidence. And I've got a quick question to one of the sisters, either one, Chloe K. Am I seeing a handicap sticker on her tag?
Yeah, Tyler had just bought her maybe a week or two before she went missing.
So it had not been registered
A
to them
handicap
yet.
sticker for what? Who's handicapped?
The previous owners. So this vehicle was not registered yet to Tyler or Nikki.
Okay, and that previous owner had a handicap sticker?
Yes.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So how long had they had the Chevy?
I want to say
About
maybe
2 weeks before she went missing. A week or two.
2 weeks before she went missing. Gotcha. Okay. Could be important. It will confuse getting fingerprints because there's going to be a lot of other people's prints in there that are not theirs. But that said, no problem. Brian Fitzgibbons is jumping in, joining us from USPA Nationwide Security. Jump in, Brian. Help me out. Any thought?
Yeah, Nancy, that is actually really important information that this was 2 weeks ago that the vehicle was purchased. So according to Tehama County Sheriff's bulletin, which in some jurisdictions they call a police log, when they found the vehicle, they assessed that there was some burn damage on the side of the vehicle. So, I think investigators need to find out, was this burn damage there before?
Okay, I'm sorry. You cut out on me. What did you just say about burn damage?
Yes. So the Tehama County Sheriff's bulletin included a report that there was burn damage to the side of the avalanche. So I think it's important to note that jumped off the page to me, given the location where the avalanche was found and obviously the circumstances.
When you say burn damage, what do you mean by that?
So included in the bulletin, the official report that the Tehama County sheriffs make to the public on all their calls, the responding officer indicated that there was burn damage on the side of the vehicle. There were some photos circulated online that I believe showed part of that burn damage. So, not enough that would make the vehicle not function, but you can see a little melting to the plastic areas on the vehicle.
An abandoned truck in a different county, missed phone calls, and unanswered texts. Where is California mom Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain?
Well, right now we're between a rock and a hard spot, and I'll tell you why. First of all, the sisters joining us today, Nikki's sisters, Chloe and Kay, didn't realize anything was wrong. They got a late night text, Chloe did, midnight, from Nikki. We know it's Nikki because of her writing style and the information that the text contained. It was her. She was dropping off her mother-in-law's vehicle. I want everybody to put their minds to it and see if we can figure out who was supposed to take Nikki from that location back home. That said, that's that night. Then it's Monday, then Tuesday before they realize, hey, she never texted back. She's not at mom's house. So we've lost at least 3, if not 4 days. That is critical. Brian Fitzgibbons joining us, Director Operations, USPA, Nationwide Security, every hour.
The fire there was just like recently, wasn't it? Or at least that was the way I understood it. So was the burn damage there? See, this case, this is messing me up because there's so much that doesn't make sense. Okay, I'll keep going.
Just let's say she's in a car, 60 mph. Every hour, she's 60 miles further away. If anyone has, and I pray to God this is not true, killed her, every hour hurts the investigation. It hurts in the discovery of the body. It hurts as to whether the body is subject to animal activity, as it is euphemistically called. Every hour makes this more difficult in finding Nikki. Agree, disagree?
Totally agree. And the vehicle being found 40 miles to the south, separating that from Nikki's residence and family homes, definitely makes this challenging as well. It spreads out the search area quite a bit. The other thing that you're dealing with here, Nancy, is the rancheria. So a rancheria, for those who aren't familiar with it, is effectively a small Native American reservation. So you have tribal lands in the middle of this missing person search, which at a minimum complicates access for volunteer search parties and the like. So you lump that onto a very vast search area, remote terrain, and then issues with access. This is a very challenging search for Nikki.
You are so right. We are calling on you, our viewers, the public, to help find Nikki. Take a listen to this, another fly in the ointment.
The search for Nikki Saelee McCain continues, extending now onto tribal land. The Wind River Casino granted permission for family, friends, and concerned citizens to come together on 2 days to search the grounds and by plane. Chloe Saelee, Nikki's sister, tells local news reporters that the area is close to where McCain was last seen or heard from. Other parts of tribal grounds remain private due to tribal sovereignty. Access has to be requested and granted before an area can be searched.
Oh, dear Lord in heaven. You know how many times I've run up against this when I would be told or get credible information there had been a murder, that there was an ongoing child molestation. ongoing domestic violence that would result in a homicide on tribal territory. I can't just run in there with a search warrant, just bust up in the county issue Crown Victoria. That is not going to happen. It doesn't work that way. Dave Mack, what can you tell me? I mean, it took how long before the Rancheria could be searched?
It did take a number of days, and the Rancheria actually agreed to allow them to search in an area near the casino, near the area where she was last seen. And that was it. Now, the Rancheria actually is contributing to the reward money. They've been participating in this again, but it's so limited, Nick. They haven't just said, come on in and look. They've said, you can look right here, but other areas sovereign. Can't have it.
Brian Fitzgibbons, that is not helping me.
Yes, so the tribe is limiting the search areas that these search parties can go on. They have put up a billboard. They have offered a $10,000 reward. These public shows of support have been made.
Wait a minute. Put Brian Fitzgibbons back up. Brian, I appreciate the money, but I would rather have a full-on search with scent dogs, bloodhounds, cadaver dogs, shoulder-to-shoulder cadets, volunteers, Chloe, Kay, everybody searching as far as they can. Not, hey, don't get past the shadow of this casino. No, that is not helping me, Fitzgibbons. What is their problem? I don't care if they hear me. What's the problem? Why wouldn't they let the searchers search beyond that?
I couldn't agree more, Nancy. I mean, these public shows of support mean nothing when you don't allow the search parties to completely search the tribal lands where Nikki was last known to be. So, they have to jump in here and actually open up access to these search parties.
Family members have released their own missing persons flyer with hopes of finding Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain. McCain is described by officials as 4'11" and weighing 110 pounds.
Family and friends plead for tips as the search continues for Nikki Cheng Saelee McCain, missing for over a month.
Joining me in an all-star panel, including Nikki's two sisters, Chloe and Kay. Chloe, to you, did the authorities not take her disappearance seriously? Why was there such a slow start in the search for Nikki?
In the beginning, I did make a missing persons report through RPD, which is Reading Police Department. And then after giving that officer information, it turns out that because of where they were living and where she was last seen, it was in a different county. And so then it got switched over from the RPD department to the Shasta County Sheriff's Department.
So that was a slowdown in addition to the weekend delay, in addition to the 8 days it took to find her Chevy Avalanche parked under an overpass. But now, can we talk about the elephant in the room? Listen.
Nikki Saelee McCain was last seen by her family on May 17th with a text message received just after midnight on the 18th. This is 11 days after her husband appears in court for a hearing and pleads not guilty to beating his wife of 13 years. The next court date for the felony domestic violence case is set for June 28th. Since Nikki is the prosecution's only witness, if she doesn't show up for court, the case could be dismissed. Judge Daniel Flynn decides to continue the hearing until July 5th to give the prosecution more time to find Nikki or other evidence in the case.
Chloe, how long had the abuse and the beatings by the husband gone on?
So in the beginning, my sister didn't want to tell me, but it had been going on for about maybe 3.5, 4 years.
Kay, did you know about your sister's beatings that she was enduring in her home?
We did know that their altercations and their fights became physical in the last, like Chloe said, 3 to 4 years. We didn't know to which degree it had escalated. So the incident in December was definitely an eye-opener for us to which degree she was living with the domestic violence.
I'm hearing in my ear to make sure and remind everyone that these are just allegations. Okay, that said, Chloe, why do you believe your sister kept the beatings a secret? I mean, he has tied up her wrists and ankles, poured cold water over her after he beat her, put tape over her mouth so she couldn't speak. She endured, she lived, she survived through that incident. Chloe, why do you believe she wouldn't tell you what was happening?
I think she was afraid. She's my older sister, so she wanted to be, I'm your older sister and I'm okay. And she didn't want to scare me, I think. But she was so terrified, but I think she put up at the front like she was brave and that she was okay.
Guys, you are seeing a shot there of Nikki with the husband, Tyler Scott McCain. Apparently, their relation started off normally, even happily. There are 4 children from the union, 7 to 13 years old. Take a listen to this.
After 3 hours of Tyler McCain allegedly beating his wife, the mother of his 4 children, hitting her about the face and head, blackening her eyes, pulling out her hair, and taping her mouth shut, he leaves her alone and goes into the kitchen. Getting herself loose from the bindings, Nikki Saelee McCain grabs a robe with her car keys, runs outside, and gets in her car. Tyler McCain chases Nikki out of the house and jumps onto the hood of the car, telling her to stop. Ignoring his demands, Nikki flees to the safety of her sister's home in Reading. Nikki Saelee McCain was last seen by her family on May 17th with a text message received just after midnight on the 18th. This is 11 days after her husband appears in court for a hearing and pleads not guilty to beating his wife of 13 years. The next court date for the felony domestic violence case is set for June 28th. Since Nikki is the prosecution's only witness, if she doesn't show up for court, the case could be dismissed. Judge Daniel Flynn decides to continue the hearing until July 5th to give the prosecution more time to find Nikki or other evidence in the case.
There you see the husband leaving the courtroom to the jeers of a crowd, all trying to find Nikki. Question to you, Kay. This is Nikki's sister. Has the husband been out searching for his wife?
He has not attended any of the searches that we've done.
Have you spoken to him, Kay, about where is Nikki?
We have.
And he said what?
He doesn't really, he says he doesn't know.
That day when you guys drove out to the house and asked him, where's Nikki? What were the choices he gave you as to where she may be, Chloe?
He said he didn't know and that she took an Uber and left somewhere.
Okay. So I understand that he gave different theories as to where she went. What else did he say besides she took an Uber?
That's what he had told me, but he had told my other family members that she took off with a lesbian lover. And then he had also said that she took off with a guy to Las Vegas.
Okay, hold on. Let me see the sisters, Chloe and Kay. So he says, A, she took an Uber somewhere, I don't know. B, she took off with a lesbian lover. Did you know anything about a lesbian lover?
No.
Okay, at 3, that she took off with a male to what? Go to the casino? Is that what you said? Those are the 3 choices?
To Las Vegas, yes.
To Vegas, okay. There's no way in HELL Nikki would leave these 4 children just alone to fend for themselves. That's not going to happen. She's never taken me time. You know, a lot of moms, they go off to a spa, they go to girls' weekends. Not her. No, that did not happen. Can anybody give me a straight answer on who was supposed to pick her up from her mother-in-law's that night?
Nikki said it would be one of the roommates that lived with them at the house.
Okay. All right. At least I know that much. And I'm sure that roommate has already been questioned. Now, let me understand something. Ted DeBias joining us, the former U.S. attorney, former assistant U.S. attorney in D.C. and author of No Body Homicide Cases. Did you hear this? I think this is really important, Ted, that Nikki is the state's only witness in that aggravated assault case. Did you hear that? And now it's time for the case, and the judge, who is Judge Daniel Flynn, at least decided to continue further notice, delay the hearing until July 5.
Yes.
That's about to happen, to give the prosecution time to find Nikki or evidence in the case. Now, I'm not coming at this from a legal angle, because you and I both know we could get in excited utterances. We could get what she said to cops. We could get a lot of her hearsay comments in as evidence, but that's not going to really fly if there's a jury. So the significance of the timing, Ted, jump in.
So, Nancy, it is very important, because what you often see in no body homicide cases, which of course we all hope this is not, but you often see what's called a triggering event. And a court case is a classic triggering event. And you recall here, there was a court hearing on May 7th where the case was going to be going forward. Now we have, less than 2 weeks later, of course, Nikki is missing. That to me is very important. Over 50% of no body murder cases involve domestic relationships. It can be husband, wife, it can be boyfriend, girlfriend. It is very common.
To Chloe and Kate, number one, our prayers are going up tonight, as you must know. Number two, it disturbs me that the family and friends have had to do so much. I haven't heard about this case. I haven't read about it. You know how I found out about it? One of you wrote me on Twitter. One of you tweeted me. That's how I found out Nikki was missing. Where is the support for Nikki? Please hear us. I know you don't know Nikki. I know you've never met her. But there are 4 children as young as 7 years old hanging in the balance. There is a $10,000 reward. Tip line 530-245-6135. If she's still alive, she can be found, but we need help. The family needs help. Her children need help. 530-245-6135. Let's stop and remember American hero, police officer Sean Leonard Slogansky, McKeesport PD, Pennsylvania, just 32, fatally shot in the line of duty, survived by grieving fiance Chelsea and infant daughter Haven. American hero, police officer Sean Leonard Slogansky. I want to thank all of our guests for being with us tonight, for you joining us, and a special thank you to our MSM family for being with us here tonight and every night, but especially to the sisters, Chloe and Kay, leading the search for their sister, Nikki. Nancy Grace signing off. I'll see you tomorrow night, 6 and 9 o'clock sharp Eastern, and until then, good night, friend.
That one was longer than I remembered it. I must not have watched all of it or something. But there was a lot of info in that one. Let's see here. I think this one talks more about the vehicle, and I don't think it's quite as long.
Question to you, Kay. This is Nikki's sister. Has the husband been out searching for his wife?
He has not attended any of the searches that we've done.
Have you spoken to him, Kay, about where is Nikki?
We have.
And he said what?
He doesn't really. He says he doesn't know.
That day when you guys drove out to the house and asked him, "Where's Nikki?" What were the choices he gave you as to where she may be, Chloe?
He said he didn't know and that she took an Uber and left somewhere.
Okay. So I understand that he gave different theories as to where she went. What else did he say beside she took an Uber?
That's what he had told me, but he had told my other family members that she took off with a lesbian lover. And then he had also said that she took off with a guy to Las Vegas.
Okay, hold on. Let me see the sisters, Chloe and Kay. So he says, A, she took an Uber somewhere, I don't know. B, she took off with a lesbian lover. Did you know anything about a lesbian lover?
No.
Okay, at 3, that she took off with a male to what? Go to the casino? Is that what you said? Those are the 3 choices?
To Las Vegas, yes.
To Vegas. Okay. There's no way in HELL Nikki would leave these 4 children just alone to fend for themselves. That's not going to happen. She's never taken me time. You know, a lot of moms, they go off to a spa, they go to girls' weekends. Not her. No, that did not happen. Can anybody give me a straight answer on who was supposed to pick her up from her mother-in-law's that night?
Nikki said it would be one of the roommates that lived with them at the house.
Okay. All right. At least I know that much. And I'm sure that roommate has already been questioned. Now, let me understand something. Ted Dubai is joining us.
Okay, I think this one's just bits and pieces of the other one. So we're going to move on. We don't want to hear the same stuff over and over. All right. So, like they said earlier, this is where she lives. Up here is where the mother-in-law lives. And somehow her avalanche ended up all the way down here and up on this little side road up under the bridge, which is very sus to me. Because like the other guy said, it was almost like it was hidden or stashed away. This is found some pictures. Looks like this is like the road marker for that little side road. See, it's on just a little road on the side of a hill. There is some things there. And this is where it was found. These 2 red marks here and here, and then this here and here are the tire. I believe there's tire marks in those spots. I can't see any tire marks, but apparently they can. That's why they're the experts. There was something here that the police marked. Nobody knows what was there, but there was something there that they took with them and marked that spot. All right, Tyler McCain heading into court for domestic violence charges on July 5th, 2024. Charges dismissed because the victim, Nikki McCain, has still not been located, and her presence at this point in time is necessary to move forward with this case. The DA's office has exhausted all avenues to prove the case at this time without her. The DA's office reserves all rights to refile this case in the future. And as you can see, if you look real close, he's saying hi to everybody with his middle finger. What a jerk. All right, and then this is on the fire. On Thursday, our reporter was approached by the homeowner, Tyler McCain, husband of the missing woman, Nikki. Saelee McCain, who confirmed he was the person cited for the fire. He says the fire was ignited after he parked a car on dry grass. I think that's supposed to be dry grass. Sorry. CAL FIRE posted a fire update Thursday at 4:35 p.m. saying that the fire was sparked by a failed catalytic converter that expelled hot fragments into dry vegetation. They say the responsible party attempted to extinguish it, but the fire spread rapidly. Somebody that lives next door said that a woman named Nikki, has been missing for a month here in Redding, and we all think her husband has something to do with it. And Lord and behold, he's the one who set up the fire. Without knowing, his house is right next to my mother's house in Happy Valley, and everyone is questioning he was getting rid of evidence. So I don't think this clip's very long. You can see all that burnt. So when they said that the fire took over rapidly, they weren't kidding. Why is it not exiting full screen? So it makes everything go down. All right.
Hey everyone, it's Max Tedford. I'm back out along Olinda Road in the 1700 block where that fire supposedly started yesterday. Now, we just learned this morning from CAL FIRE officials, after reaching out to them to get more information about this, that someone was cited for being part of causing this fire. Now, to what extent they caused it and what circumstances still aren't clear. So it's important to remember CAL FIRE can, cite you for accidentally causing a fire as much as purposely causing a fire. But here at the 1700 block, specifically at this property, we know it's listed on white pages under a 39-year-old Tyler McCain. And so we're still waiting for more information on what exactly happened. But looking at the damage, you can see a number of cars are totally burned out, totally destroyed. It seems that firefighters did a good job creating a fire line. So the house itself is not damaged. I don't know if you guys can see that in the background there. I'll turn a little bit so you guys can see there. But yeah, so the house isn't damaged. All these cars here got burned out. There's some wooden structures, sheds, things like that are behind this these trees and this tree line right here. Those have a lot of damage. Those see fire damage. So there is definitely some damage, and I'm seeing fire crews, things like that, patrol the area. I've seen at least 3 or 4 pass by me over the last 10-15 minutes that I've been here, going through, checking for hot spots, making sure this is totally out. But sky is totally clear of smoke. We know those evacuation orders have all been dropped down to warnings. So it really seems things, at least on the fire sense of it, is under control. CAL FIRE's on scene and patrolling the area. They've got hotspot crews going around, making sure there aren't those hot spots. There's not going to be any reignition. And so it seems, as far as we've heard, the only really structural and material damage seems to be centered on this property, which is listed on white pages under a 39-year-old Tyler McCain. So, we saw a lot of law enforcement here investigating things yesterday. I estimated about 20 to 30 different law enforcement members, patrolling and walking through this property while the fire was going, while flames were burning. Those people numbered from the sheriff's office, a group called the Neighborhood Patrol Unit, the Cal Fire's investigation unit, and the sheriff's office were all here, and they were all participating in, it seems, some sort of investigation. And it seems there was some fruition to it, as for those just joining us, we heard this morning from Cal Fire, somebody was cited for causing this fire. Now, we still don't know the identity. Cal Fire says more information around all that is going to be released later today once they have a full report typed out. But yeah, so we've got a Cal Fire crew member you can see kind of coming down the road here. Like I said, they've just been patrolling this area. Ooh, almost lost the camera there. They've just been patrolling this area over the last, I'm guessing, over the night and through this morning, making sure no hot spots pop up, that this fire doesn't reignite. But yeah, so someone was cited. We do know that. We don't know exactly the cause. And it is important to remember that you can be cited for a number of reasons if you had any hand in causing the fire, whether that's through negligence or, purposeful lighting of a fire. We just had that recently where someone was dragging a trailer that sparked, and they were cited. And so that's not this fire, of course, but it's important to remember that there's a lot of reasons people can be cited in these fires. But we do know someone has been, the investigation did find someone was at fault in some way. So we know this property is listed to a 39-year-old Tyler McCain. And right now we're just kind of waiting for officials to confirm a lot of information and figure things out from there. But yeah, as we can see, there's no real smoke in the air. It doesn't seem like the fire is going in any way at this point. And if you might still be out evacuating, just in case you were nervous, it does seem like if you are in the area, it is safe to return home at this point. But obviously, stay aware, keep aware of your evacuation zones and notices coming out from the sheriff's office in case something reignites. They're the people that are keeping the public aware of this fires and where this fire's at. So just stay safe out there, and we'll have full information around whatever Cal Fire says the citation was for. Hopefully they'll be able to share who they cited, and we'll have all that information tonight in our shows and on krcrtv.com later today. So make sure to tune in, make sure to check out, and we'll keep you guys updated as we learn more through the day. Thank you guys for joining me.
Okay. Oh my goodness. There's more pictures of where the fire was. There were animals out there. I think you can see some birds and turkeys, looks like maybe, that could have been injured, but I don't think any of them were, from what I understood. And I believe that is him standing there looking at his work of art. And then there she is. That was all the info I could get together in a short amount of time. Thanks to Avery and MetaMom, I had a couple other things, some other little bits of information that I can look into and find out more on. That's it. If you guys can share this out, just so that more channels and more people will cover her story. That's all I want, so that we can get her found and hopefully give the family some closure and hopefully put him away for life, very long time, as far as I'm concerned. So All right, guys, that's all I have. Thank you for being here. You're welcome, honey. And I will see you guys as soon as I can do the next one. Have a great rest of your Sunday night. Love you all.